What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews back at it again with another hometown take. Today I am talking about the Atlanta Hawks and who should we keep, who should go, who do we need to replace, who do we need to bring back. Yes, I'm talking about the Atlanta Hawks free agents and who is going to stay and who is going to go. I'm going to get all into it in just a minute, but first make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out the first link in my description box to buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel, help fuel the Atlanta Hawks to a great offseason, a great regular season, a whole lot of wins, a good deep playoff run, and hopefully an NBA Finals appearance in the NBA championship ring, baby, because that's where we at right about now. Also, make sure you check out the second link in my description box to subscribe to the Tough Calls podcast from your girl SymoneWithTheSports, as she likes to say, are talking to your favorite former and current athletes, hosts, anchors, reporters, head coaches, all that good stuff. So just make sure you search Tough Calls in either Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Don't miss out on the good content. Listen to it, download it, share it, subscribe to it, tell your friends to listen to it, download it, share, subscribe to it, and tell your friends to listen to it, download it, share, subscribe to it. You already know what's going on. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. So, the Atlanta Hawks have some decisions to make. The NBA draft is over. NBA free agency, believe it or not, because we got to get back on schedule. The NBA does after, the COVID season and the 72-game season. The NBA season, or the NBA, I should say, is getting back on schedule this upcoming season. So NBA free agency starts officially tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. It's coming that quick. You already know whoever the Hawks sign. I'm right on top of it with the instant reactions, giving you my thoughts on whoever the Hawks sign in the NBA free agency. But before that, let's get into an NBA free agency eve video talking about who could the Hawks keep, the free agents that they have right now that they could keep, or the NBA free agents that they have that could go, and who we could replace them with. So let's get right into it. First, gonna list off the free agents, restricted or unrestricted free agents the Atlanta Hawks have. Number one, obviously, is John Collins, restricted free agent. The reports are Adrian Wojnarowski, like I told you guys before in some other videos. According to Woj, John Collins is expected to sign a $120 million deal with the Atlanta Hawks fairly soon, before he even sees any other offer sheets from any other teams. We know John Collins wants to stay in Atlanta. We've heard Travis Schlenk and Tony Ressler say that they value John Collins and want to keep him, but it has to be at a right number that makes sense for both teams. And I guess $120 million makes sense for both parties. So I think John Collins is ultimately going to stay. All signs are pointing to John Collins being an Atlanta Hawk, and it looks like it's going to be under a 4-year, $120 million deal. So that's one, obviously, John Collins. Another one is Solomon Hill. Solomon Hill, unrestricted free agents. I believe we do have bird rights on Solomon Hill. Can't remember if it's him or Tony Snell. One of them we have bird rights, one of them we have non-bird rights. But either way it goes, we do have Solomon Hill to think about and make a decision on. And the other one I just mentioned, Tony Snell, is an unrestricted free agent as well. Lou Will, also an unrestricted free agent. Lou Williams has already stated, I think he does want to come back to Atlanta. We all saw the Instagram post. He said, I think I'm coming back. He said the Hawks were a blessing in disguise. Obviously, he was thinking about retiring once he first got traded from the Clippers to the Hawks. But after a nice magical run, the Hawks, boosted his self-esteem again and show him, hey, Lemon Pepper Lou, you can still hoop. But again, he wants a multi-year deal, and I'm not sure the Atlanta Hawks are willing to give him that. And we just drafted Sharife Cooper, point guard, out of Auburn. So all signs point to him not coming back. On top of the fact, we just traded for Delon Wright, point guard from the Sacramento Kings. So we already got 3 point guards on the roster. Don't believe Lou Williams is coming back. Same could be said for point guard Brandon Goodwin, who unfortunately got hurt this season, couldn't, help us at all in the playoffs. He was out. And I believe the same thing is going to be for him. He's a restricted free agent. Don't think the Atlanta Hawks are going to bring him back. They're going to let him walk and sign whatever offer he gets from any other team. So Point guards are probably out because I think the roster is set when it comes to point guards. We got Trae Young. We have Delon Wright. We have Sharife Cooper. Maybe we keep one more, but I'm just not sure how many point guards we're going to keep on this roster. So maybe we could get one more, and maybe Lou Will, maybe Brandon Goodwin are cheap options. So I'm just not sure at this point of where we are at in the NBA offseason if the Atlanta Hawks are going to put any more guards in the team. And also, we can't forget Skylar Mays is probably coming back as well. Now, Skylar Mays could end up going to the G League since the G League is coming back. But again, there's still 3 guards on the team who we know are probably going to be on the actual NBA roster in Trae Young for sure, Delon Wright for sure, and then either Sharife Cooper or Skylar Mays, if not both. You know, maybe they send Skylar Mays down to the G League, or maybe they send Sharife Cooper down to the G League. Either way it goes, there's probably going to be one of those two as the third point guard, again, if not both of them, as the third and fourth point guards on this team. So I think we are good at point guard. With that being said, I do not see Lou Williams or Brandon Goodwin coming back to this Atlanta Hawks team. Now, as far as shooting guard, I think we're good. I don't think we're going to necessarily look at any shooting guards. We got Kevin Huerter. We have Bogdanovic. Not sure if we're going to see any more shooting guards on this team. Maybe we could. If we do, there's not really too many good shooting guards out there in free agency. I got the list pulled up right now as far as guys we could afford. And they do have Lou Williams listed as a shooting guard. So maybe we can bring back Lou Will. Maybe we do bring back Lou Will as a shooting guard and keep him as that 6 man. There's also Alec Burks, who we could afford. So he could be a guy coming off the bench. Maybe Garrett Temple is a guy we look at. Denzel Valentine. These are all affordable options for the Atlanta Hawks. I don't think we're going to have enough money to bring back Malik Monk into the mix, because even though he was only making $3 million, I think all those years were on his rookie contract. So those are a couple guys we maybe could look at. But the biggest positions and I think the biggest decisions we're going to have going into free agency are we going to bring back Solomon Hill and or Tony Snell back on this roster? Now, Solomon Hill making about $2.1 million this year. Shot 32% from the 3-point line. Averaged about 3 3-point attempts per game this season with 4.5 points per game. He was solid at some points. He did kind of get into a rut in the playoffs. So not sure if we bring Solomon Hill back. He is a guy we could bring back. Between him and Tony Snell for the numbers' sake, he's making about $11.5 million, or he made about $11.5 million this year. Once off the trade, because we did get him in a trade from Detroit. He was not a free agent pickup this past offseason. We did get him in a trade. So he made about $11.5 million this year, 5.3 points per game. Now, he did shoot 56.9 from the 3 this season, but he only played in 47 games out of 72. He started in 23. There was a good stretch where Tony Snell was solid when he had to start in those 23 games. He really got into a rhythm, and he was one of our most reliable 3-point shooters, but did not use him very much in the playoffs. You know, once Nate McMillan really got in there, did not see much of Tony Snell, so I'm not going to sure we bring him back, especially if he's looking for anywhere near that 11 mil range. Definitely not going to bring him back for that. So Solomon Hill and Tony Snell, if I had to guess between one of the two, if we bring back either or, probably bring back Solomon Hill just because he's a definitely cheaper option. And, you know, he played a lot more than Tony Snell did. I think he was a lot more reliable than Tony Snell, Solomon Hill was. So I could see us bringing back Solomon Hill, but I could also see us bringing back neither of them. And if that is the case, look at guys like these. These are the guys we should look out for the Atlanta Hawks signing and having a realistic opportunity to sign them at a good, solid price. Number 1, Jeff Green. Jeff Green is a solid dude, been in the league a long time. Another good veteran presence, would take that role of Solomon Hill as a good guy, you know, who could still coach up this young team, lead by example on the court, and still put up some pretty good numbers. And also, Jeff Green is a versatile player as well. He was playing center for the Brooklyn Nets this year, center, and he's only like 6'8", 6'9", or something like that. But Jeff Green this season averaged 11 points per game, shot 41% from three. So obviously he can stretch the floor on about three three-point attempts this season, only making like 2.5 mil. That's easy. We could bring him back for that. And if you guys are wondering, with the money we're going to use to sign John Collins, I think we're going to have around $7 to $10 million in cap space from some articles I've read. So with about $7 to $10 million in cap space, we got Jeff Green and we still got some money to spare for some other guys I'm about to list off. So Jeff Green at about 2.5 mil, giving you 11 points per game. Now, the one caveat is I do think Jeff Green was starting for the Brooklyn Nets a lot of the season. Again, so those 11 points per game might be diminished a little bit, but 41% from 3-on-3 attempts per game, you can't beat that. I will take those numbers. So that's a solid 9 points per game, depending on how many minutes he gives you. So I still think Jeff Green could be a solid bench option for this team, and I don't think he would mind coming off the bench at all. So Jeff Green is an option. Another dude that's an option is Torrey Craig. He was on the Phoenix Suns. He was injured a little bit this year, but when he came back, he was a good, solid bench producer for the Phoenix Suns. 7.2 points per game, shot 36.9% from three-point range off of almost three three-point attempts per game at 2.6 if you want to get exact, only making 1.6 mil this season. Again, easily the Hawks could do that, and they would do that. And both these guys, Jeff Green and Torrey Craig, are unrestricted free agents. So wouldn't have to give up anything to get them. Wouldn't have to spend a lot of money to get them. Good options there for the Atlanta Hawks. And Jeff Green obviously can defend 1 through 5. Like I said, he was playing center for the Brooklyn Nets as in that small ball lineup that they had. Torrey Craig also could play anywhere between 2 and 4. I think he mostly plays at small forward, does a little bit of power forward, but he's a versatile dude as well, can defend multiple positions. And again, these guys are on the cheap ski. So Torrey Craig might be looking for a little bit more money, but we'll see. Also, a guy like Rudy Gay, maybe we bring in. Now, I don't know how much money Rudy Gay is looking for these days because he was making about 14 mil in San Antonio. I think he probably knows at his age because, he's up there in age now, mid-30s. I don't think he's looking for that much money anymore, but who knows? But Rudy Gay did average 11.4 points per game, shot 38% from three with about 4 3-point attempts per game. Again, another guy who I believe he was starting in San Antonio. If he's okay with not starting, because none of these guys I'm listing off would start. Nobody's starting over DeAndre Hunter, and if we keep Cam Reddish, they're not starting over Cam Reddish either. So none of these guys will be starting. So if Rudy Gay's okay with not starting and taking a good chunk of less money, Rudy Gay could be an option as well. Also, another guy who would be good to bring in, Nicolas Batum, 8.1 points per game, 40% from three off of 4.1 3-point attempts, 2.5 mil he made this year. So that was his salary this year, his base salary, I believe. So another good guy that we could bring in. As far as his defense go, I don't think he's a super great defender, but he could get the job done. So the Hawks are definitely looking for 3-and-D guys to come off the bench, guys who will knock down shots and play some good defense. I don't know how good of a defender Batum is at this point, but still solid player, good guy to have coming off the bench. So Nicolas Batum, a guy to look out for as well. Now, this is a guy who I would love for the Atlanta Hawks to get, but I'm not sure that they're going to be able to bring him in because I'm pretty sure he's going to want to be a starter. Reggie Bullock absolutely had some games where he torched us in that first round series as he was playing for the New York Knicks this past year in the, last year's, a couple years before that. So Reggie Bullock averaged 10.9 points per game, 41% three-point shooter off of 6 attempts from three each and every game. So if we could get Reggie Bullock to come here in a bench role, that would be huge. But Travis Schlenk will have to do some major recruiting along with Trae Young, John Collins, all of them will have to do some major recruiting to get Reggie Bullock here. That will be tough because, like I said, he isn't starting in New York, and I would imagine he would want to go somewhere and start, especially after he had a very good season and solid, productive season this year with the New York Knicks. The Knicks might even bring him back. Who knows? They would be smart to bring him back. So Reggie Bullock, got to look out for. Like I said, it might be tough to get him because he will definitely want to be a starter. Also, Markieff Morris, a guy to look out for. One of the Morris brothers. Markieff was playing with the Lakers this past season, averaged 6.7 points per game, only 31% three-point shooter this season off of 3.4 three-point attempts this year. Only making 2.3 mil though. He's a good scrappy defender, going to give you a lot of hustle plays while knocking down some threes. So hopefully Markieff Morris could up that three-point percentage if he did come to Atlanta, but that is also a guy to look out for. So those are just some guys to look out for, y'all. Let me know who you want me to do a video on. I'll do some individual videos on some of the guys I listed off once free agency begins, but I just wanted to give you kind of overall view of where the Hawks are at. Like I said, around $7 to $10 million in cap space the Hawks are going to have to spend after they sign John Collins to, I think it's going to be around a 4-year, $120 million deal. Adrian Wojnarowski said the Hawks expect to sign John Collins before he even gets to see any offer sheets from any other team. So the Hawks, Travis Schlenk, aren't playing around with John Collins. They're trying to bring him back, and I am okay with it. So there you go. Also, some other free agents I didn't talk about. Nathan Knight, probably going to bring him back as well. I believe Skylar Mays and Nathan Knight will come back to this team. I think the Hawks are pretty high on Nathan Knight as well as Skylar Mays, so expect to see them back. But yeah, I wouldn't expect to see Brandon Goodwin back. Wouldn't expect to see Lou Will back just because the guard position is already kind of taken up. And with Delon Wright and also drafting Sharife Cooper. So wouldn't expect to see them back. But I would expect to see Skylar Mays and Nathan Knight back. Also John Collins. So like I said, look out for Jeff Green, maybe Torrey Craig, Rudy Gay, Reggie Bullock, Nicolas Batum, Markieff Morris. All guys the Hawks could be bringing on this season in free agency. It's all get started tomorrow night, the official date of NBA free agency, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you guys like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel. Again, tell me what free agents you think the Atlanta Hawks should go after and sign. Tell me who you guys want to see me do videos on when it comes to trade rumors, free agency. I got some stuff coming out soon, but let me know who you guys want me to see who you want me to see do videos on and all that good stuff. Again, like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel. Check out the first link in my description box to buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel, help fuel the Atlanta Hawks. A great offseason, did a great job in free agency. I think we did a great job in this past year's draft. I love Jalen Johnson and Sharife Cooper as players. Think they're going to be good additions for this Atlanta Hawks team. So buy me a coffee if you can. Check out the second link in my description box to subscribe to the Tough Calls podcast. Me and girl Symone with this Sports are talking to your favorite former and current athletes, hosts, anchors, reporters, head coaches, all that good stuff. So search Tough Calls in either Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts to not miss out on the good content. Like the pod, subscribe to the pod, share the pod out with your friends. Listen to the pod, most importantly. Tell your friends to listen to it, download it, subscribe to it, share to it, and tell your friends to listen to it, download it, subscribe to it, share it, all that good stuff. Hey, until I talk to you guys next time, stay true to Atlanta, believe in Atlanta. We'll see what happens in free agency. Peace.